How did you two meet?
LA Comic Con.
LA Comic Con.
Oh,
All right, so we are live right now.
hey everybody!
We're back.
Sorry about the technical difficulties. Dimitri's computer was trying to commit sewer slide.
The TikTok way of saying things. Yeah. All right, so the same question. No, I'll repeat the question. So Jaime Reyes being a Mexican American kid from El Paso, how does that affect your guys' appreciation of the character with your own personal backgrounds?
Okay, so I was answering this before we cut out, so I'm not sure how much my answer cut out. I'll just try to do a quick run through for everything. So like I said, I met Jaime through Ted. Ted was just presumably white American, implied Jewish, though not confirmed, from what was then the Question's home city of Hub City, and then later retconned Chicago. Jaime, El Paso, Texas. All right. So being Mexican American myself, I really love that Jaime himself was Mexican American. I really did feel like his character related to it in the sense of his family was obviously like a good representation of a Mexican American family. He's very close with his parents and his sister. One thing I did like was the really cute family interactions during Beetle's original run back in 2006 with Giffen. So back in the run, after Jaime gets the Scarab in Infinite Crisis #3 in 2005, he ends up going through Infinite Crisis, and then he ends up being like stranded in space for about a year. Now his family doesn't know he's the Beetle at this time, so they're obviously very concerned about the location and whereabouts of his son. How's he doing? He returns to Earth. His parents are obviously just like happy he's back, but also just like, where the hell have you been, dude? His sister gets a little bit freaked out by him being Beetle, which is understandable. If I was his younger sister, I would have very much also freaked out. But afterwards, when he eventually tells his parents, I think in like Blue Beetle #3 or #4 in the run, that he is Blue Beetle, his parents are, like supportive and understanding. And they're like, you know what, like Jaime, like you're our son, like we're going to support you. And there's actually this one really cute scene where, so his mom, she's a healthcare worker and he is in a hospital. And his mom's like trying to help him out and like whispering to him, and he's like, "Mom, please," because he's not trying to expose, his secret identity. But I thought that was like very cute. How a lot of Latino families in general, and from my own experience as having grown up like in a Mexican American household, of just like our own family interactions and how we are as like a familial unit. So I really enjoyed that. Speaking as of El Paso, it's where Jaime had his first run, where he finds the Scarab after it's like thrown from the sky. During Infinite Crisis. El Paso itself is a real city. It's a border city with Mexico, located in southern Texas. It is predominantly a Latino demographic. Now, as of the current day in DC Comics, Jaime has moved to Palmera City, which was introduced under Graduation Day for his latest run. And they're also setting his new movie in Palmera City as well. Since it's like a newer established city in the DC universe, I'm not 100% certain as to which actual state they placed it in the U.S., if it's Texas or another city.
It looks
but
like
from
Miami
what I've seen,
for some reason.
So yeah, it does look Miami-esque. I think that's what they might have based it on, because from what I know from interviews with Josh Trujillo, who is the writer of Graduation Day, and then also the sequel for Scarab War, pre-order comes out September 5th. For that one, they're saying it's kind of similar to Metropolis of, Superman, and it's just like a futuristic US city, except the difference is for Palmera City, it's predominantly Latino demographics. They did not specify which of the Latino demographics. So, Miami, probably primarily Cuban, I would assume. I actually don't know. I'm purely making that assumption. El Paso is primarily a Mexican American ethnically. So that would just be interesting from like a little like perspective to say, oh, okay, we have like this cool futuristic-y city. It's Latino based. Like, let's see, maybe like we have different types of like architecture, or they have like a bunch of like really cool buildings. I know their restaurants are gonna hit. Like, I know he's eating good.
better than Metropolis
He's
restaurants.
eating good. Absolutely.
Oh.
Absolutely. To be fair, I do think Metropolis is similar to like modern day New York, where they have a bunch of different like little sections of the city of different ethnic foods. So like you can just be like, you know what, today I'm craving some Thai food. And you just like pop on over to your little Thai place. The next day, you're like, I'm feeling some Venezuelan cuisine. Like I'll pop over to a little shop. But since we don't really know the demographics specifically of like which Latino communities Palmera City is, as opposed to, you know, the real life city of El Paso, his aunt does own a little restaurant there in Palmera. So like I know the food is good.
Yeah.
But that's how my connection to Jaime, and that's how I feel like Jaime is a good representation in that regard. And I'm excited to see with how they develop the city architecturally, demographically, everything just like that.
It's first thing, thank you for that. Second thing, I think it is interesting when they do give a city character. But then I also think it's interesting when they make cities realistic. So, like, in Birds of Prey, the Birds of Prey movie, I felt like it was the first time we got a sense of culture from Gotham, where I felt like people lived in Gotham, but like Tim Burton's Gotham. Tim Burton's Gotham seems like someone opens the door and it's just a bunch of stage flats, and you just now go backstage. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't seem like people lived in Tim Burton's Gotham, you know? But Birds
it was like a little too aesthetically put together, I would say. Like, it didn't feel a little grimy, like how all cities are.
Yeah. I love Birds of Prey, by the way. Like, Birds of Prey is one of my top.
No, you are eating because when I was reading Graduation Day, I was like, I like the aesthetic. It's kind of Batman Beyond-ish. Like, it's futuristic, and then they like the way the buildings were. But then the fact that like they could just like have full on Spanish conversations. I was like, this is really interesting. But you're right, because in Birds of Prey, like Harley had her whole routine, like
the
she
bodega
got her egg sandwich. Yeah, I was like, ah. and then
I also liked how for Birds of Prey, I'm sorry to cut in really quick. They actually had like specific ethnicities, like having like little shops. Like that shop owner was Armenian. And you know, Warner Brothers Studios here in Burbank. I live near the area. I'm from Los Angeles. We have a big Armenian population, and they're like never represented on TV. I had so many Armenian friends who were like, "Oh my God, yes, we're in Gotham too."
Yeah.
So that was like a fun little thing.
Metropolis has yet to feel lived in any like media that I see in Metropolis. Like, not to say that there aren't good Superman stuff, but the city of Metropolis always like. I've heard writers say that Gotham is New York at night, Metropolis is New York during the day. Like, that's what I've heard before. And so, like, if like we can think that maybe Metropolis has a bunch of good ethnic food, or it's ethnic food that is like staffed and run by white people. Like, they're like, yes, I visited Venezuela on a trip once. I know how to make everything. And like, that's Metropolis.
Oh, that food would be so bad.
Gotham's food though. Gotham's food. Ooh.
Gotham food probably hit.
Yeah.
No, because that one scene of Batman Begins.
You could taste the struggle. You know.
Listen,
they're like, we can't sell our houses, but the rent is $2. Let's eat.
Listen,
let's buy our homes.
That scene of Batman Begins where he's just like, I have children to feed. It's like, they don't like falafel.
Yeah.
But no, you're right, because like I know how many is working at that restaurant currently. I know he just sits down on his lunch break. He's just like he's
going in.
But I'm not gonna lie. When I first met Jaime, because I was a little a Black and Puerto Rican child, I thought Jaime was Puerto Rican. And then I found out he was Mexican. I was like, oh, that's cool too.
But you stopped. You stopped reading his stuff. You were like,
no. It was before I even read anything. I thought he was Mexican or Puerto Rican, and then I found out he was Mexican. I was like, oh, okay. The Mexicans got one. You know, they got Blue Beetle. We got Miles. You know, I got Miles.
Yeah,
besties. You know, they would be besties. Like,
I was just thinking
they would be besties.
Legit. I grabbed this figure. I was like, oh my God, Jaime, because Jaime has the team player aspect of his personality and like the family oriented aspect that Miles shares, and they would get along. They would be besties.
They would have
And
so
then
much fun together.
throw Static in there, that would be a trio. But there'd be a lot of rights issues with them
So-
three being
So I'm gonna throw a hot take out there, or it's just not really that hot of a take. It's just that because we're not talking about Marvel stuff, but I think the champions in Marvel. I love the champions. The champions is like Teen Titans when they're firing on all cylinders, but Marvel's champions run with Miles Morales, Kamala Khan, Sam Alexander Nova, like all those characters. Blue Beetle Jaime would get along so well on that team.
He would.
He
needs more time. He needs a good Teen Titans or Titans because he's now 18. Canonically, because he just graduated high school. Lineup because characters I know he's Tim Drake era, but he would have such a good dynamic if he got to be in the room with Damian Wayne. Because Damian is
okay, scorching.
Damian went around new people, can be a jerk. He's one of those people that's I gotta warm up to you, right? Him and Jaime, I know we saw it in the Zakan those movies. I don't like those movies though. But comic Damian, where he's at now personally, and Jaime would have a really funny dynamic because Jaime's yeah, let's do this. I'm part of the community, part of the hero community. I like hanging out with people. I know people, blah, blah. And Damian would be but I don't know you. So
who the hell are you?
I don't know you that well. You might know Tim. Me and Tim, we 50-50, okay? So you friends with Tim, that means I don't like you half the time. You know what I'm saying? And Jaime would be what's your deal? I would like them to be on a team together. That would be really
I like Tim. Okay. I do feel that he is very clicky with his people.
100%.
You know what I mean? So
100%.
I don't know whether Jaime would mix well with Tim. What was Michelle gonna say?
So Jaime, I want to go into what teams he's been featured on, and then which one was actually, in my opinion, the best.
Yeah.
So first team was straight out of the bat during his first run with Giffen was when he was featured with Teen Titans for a few episodes, for a few issues. It was 4 issues max. Honestly, I wasn't a fan of him on the team. So my reasoning for this is I felt like the rest of the team just kind of, I don't want to say they were necessarily mean to him. And it's partially understandable because Jaime is just straight out of the gate. He's a brand new hero. He's not 100% at knows how to use all of his powers, knows all these how to fight, strategy. He's just a new dude. We get it. We've all been in a situation, at a job or something where you're just a new guy.
Yeah.
And the Teen Titans were we need to move. We got things to do. So they just were not really the most patient with him, which again, I'm not blaming them for this. It makes sense in the context. But I because of that, I was okay, don't really like them together as a team. I also did feel, even though I think they were relatively close to the same age, in my mind, for continuity purposes, Tim is older than Jaime. I feel like they're the same age. But in my mind, I'm no, that's a completely different age group. What the heck?
Yeah. Jaime's coming in at 16 years old, and he's okay, I'm fresh. Tim is I've already been doing this for I know.
Tim's I'm a senior. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been here for they're about the same age with Tim. By the time Jaime comes in, it's 2006. So Tim is 1 year later, so he's about 17. So that means Tim's been doing this canonically for 4 full years. He's been
he's a senior.
Skipped a grade.
He knows what he's doing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tim skipped a couple grades.
So that's why it wasn't the biggest, it was fine. The Titans crossover, it was fine. It just wasn't a team I would want Jaime on. Let me put it that way. No hate. I was just I don't think he'd be good on that. I don't think it would mesh well, all the people.
Okay.
I don't think they would enjoy each other's company.
Yeah.
So then
I have a
Jaime's
Titans
initial
pitch,
run.
After you talk about all your stuff. Anyway, sorry, continue.
So after Jaime's run, the next team he's featured on it's not his run. He's featured as a main character, but it is, or one of the main characters, but it is not his run because he hasn't had, we'll get to that later, was during Green Lantern's Blackest Day, Brightest Night series with Run. And then during Brightest Day, there was a subcategory called Justice League Generation Lost, featuring the JLI team, minus Ted Cord, also minus Guy Gardner. and Mr. Miracle, as well as Batman, because at the time Dick is Batman. Anyways, so during that, I actually loved that entire team run. So it's Captain Atom, Fire, Ice, Booster Gold, and then a new Rocket Red and Jaime. The bare minimum just summary I'll give is like it took place during Brightest Day, where like people came back to life. So Max Lord is back to life, and he's like, I'm gonna take revenge on everyone. Erases everyone's mind from his existence. Like he erases the existence of himself from everyone in the world's mind, except for the people I just listed. And then they have to team up to like fight Max. I thought the reason why I really liked it. So Jaime, again, this was his second like big adventure essentially after his first run. It was just like his second voyage as a hero. So he's still pretty fresh, you know? He's still living with his parents in El Paso. They actually meet up with his parents at one point. So all of the team members he's with, again, just like the Teen Titans, are quite literally both older and more experienced than him. They were on the actual Justice League before. But because he's Ted Kord's successor and they've all worked with Ted, they're all very like, oh my goodness, we have to help you out. Like, you're Ted's successor. Like, come with us. You know, we're going to help you out. Well, I wouldn't necessarily call it mentor him, but they were just, I feel like, more patient with him than the Teen Titans were, which I appreciated. And I feel like Jaime would appreciate as well. And they just like worked well together as a team. There's a bunch of panels from it, which I really like, that I won't show because they do spoil parts of the issue. So they're there. I recommend the run. And then lately, as of now, for upcoming Scarab War, there are whispers he might join JSA, but like we'll see.
Okay. Would you like him in the JSA?
It hasn't happened yet, so I don't know. I have to see what the team dynamics would be. But I feel like it could kind of work. Like I feel like they're more patient with younger, people in the way that some adult teams are, but others are not. So it could work. Yeah. But I did like him in Generation Lost because it was very much like the tie to Ted, but they were also like, we understand that you're a young hero and we're going to be more patient with you. You know, come with us. Let's figure this out.
You're right about the patience thing because like Jessica Cruz joins the Justice League, right? She's less experienced Lantern. They're like, all right, we gotta like help you. You know, Batman is Batman about it. Barry is like, you're kind of hot. LOL, Jessica.
That was so bad.
That honestly, with Wally, I can see it. Barry's like.
I'm tired of them trying to make Barry happen. It's just everything interesting about Barry is just Wally stuff that they've taken. I also feel bad, by the way, talking about Flash without Avery here. Because just like Michelle is my Blue Beetle person, and Avery is Flash.
Avery is TikTok's Flash person. Let's get the funniest thing ever is on TikTok. You and like any comic creator, you're like Avery. They're like, huh? The Flash Museum. Oh, because if they don't know Avery by name, they'll know the Flash Museum. They're like, oh, I know that. Yeah.
So is Michelle gonna be the Blue Beetle Museum?
I was saying during the commercial break where I was saying there is a space on TikTok for a Blue Beetle creator.
Yeah.
And we were talking. I'm like, you have the personality for it. You have all the Canva creations for it. I'm just saying. We have the space for it. There's space for everyone. See.
I'm very grateful for the compliments. It doesn't seem like it. I am shy in real life.
That's what TikTok is helpful for.
You have to get to know someone to like open up. I'm also afraid of public speaking. Like this is quite a lot for me. But we'll see. I'll
Listen, all you gotta do is make a video. We'll all follow you, make a video, and then we'll repost it. And then, like, if there's evil people in the comments, you can just delete them and block them. You can be like, okay, I don't like you.
The blocking part I can do. I don't have to say anything for that. That's quiet.
Yeah.
But
I move in silence.
But real G's move in silence like lasagna. Sorry, low 8. but when you were asking about the teams, I've had a team in my head for quite some time.
Okay, go. Let's hear it. For Jaime.
Because I would like I said, I want a dynamic with Damian. So boom, Damian. this team I cooked up before John Kent was
Okay.
aged up, so John Kent, but
Okay.
he's aged up now,
Okay.
so
Little kid John
him
Kent.
and Jaime are actually around the same age now, so that works. Got off floor now because I was like, I want a Wonder Woman character. Not sure
Okay.
Trinity can
That's
go
kind of scorching,
away.
but all right.
John Kent, got off floor, Damian Wayne, Static. I want Static. I want Blue Beetle. I want Jaime. And then I was thinking like, okay, that's only 5 people. We need a 6th person in there. I was thinking Miss Martian because they have history in outside media from Young Justice, but Miss Martian is also just a really freaking cool character. So I was thinking those 6, kind of like a proto league, because the issue with Jaime power wise is if you plop him on a team with Cyborg, it's redundant, right? Because Cyborg and him essentially do the same thing, except one, it used to be one is like a cyborg and then one has alien tech, but New 52 post, both of them are alien technology.
Yeah.
And since Cyborg already has a much lengthier history and is like, and I'm not saying Jaime's dumb, but Cyborg was already intelligent, and then he's also a computer connected to everything.
Mhm.
He's a little bit more useful on a team, like, than having Blue Beetle and him there, because it's like, okay, you both have people who can do cannon arms. We don't need that. So you can have Blue Beetle.
Just like you don't need 2 speedsters on the team unless the purpose is to show you the 2 speedsters on the team, like Wally and Jesse Quick when they were.
Yeah, and the thing is, I would have put Wallace on that team that I was talking to, or Jackson Hyde, but they both don't like Damian Wayne, and that's not gonna change.
That's not gonna change.
Okay, so
but Wallace, if you want to put one of them on there, Jackson can fit on there on the team I cooked up. Wallace is not being bothered with Damian.
No, but that's the drama.
Does not like him.
So first things first, is I love to ship. All right, so when I see Tracy, with Tracy 13 and Jaime together for a little bit, like I like that. I like the possibilities that come with not only like shipping someone together or them being exes on a team together. But like I did a whole TikTok playlist and I did what I was calling my imprint. So, but like with a capital T. Ben, have you seen it? My Teen Titans teams?
Because for some reason TikTok only shows me your videos once in a blue moon. So I'm always, if I see your beautiful face and them shoulders, I'm liking. But if it doesn't happen, I'm like, damn, Dimithri hasn't posted in a while. I'm like,
well, it's true. I do take a lot of time off, but I spent a lot of time doing this. But I created like multiple. Basically, my imprint was that there'd be like a company-wide DC Titans push with multiple teams. And like who would be on the multiple teams and what would be the purpose of each team. So like my Teen Titans lineup that had Jaime in it. So I put Jaime on Teen Titans with Damian. But this is Damian coming out of his recent like Robin run with the Lazarus.
Yeah, after he's had some growth. Because Damian
post-character development.
Yeah, Damian pre-character development and like that.
Yeah, not his Titans run. Yeah, Damian in the Titans where he's putting all
the imprisoning people, where that's such a regression. I hated that. I was like so geeked. I was like, yes. And then I read it. I was like, ooh.
So like my Teen Titans book would have Damian, Connor Hawk. I do put Wallace on there because I want that tension with Wallace.
Yeah, Wallace
I put Static on the team. I put Jaime on the team. I put Tracy 13 on the team, and I put Tanya Spears Power Girl on the team.
I love Tanya. I would like her to come
and I put
back
Crush. I put Crush on the team.
Okay.
Oh.
Because I wanted that extra power. And that's just the Teen Titans team. I have a Titans team, a Teen Titans team, an Outlaws team, a Young Justice team, a Teen Titans Academy, like who would be teachers and whatever. So like I did little videos on each of those. Because Teen Titans Academy sucked. That comic
I didn't even bother
was the absolute worst. But it had good moments, but it was collectively...
I didn't bother reading it because I was like, why are we putting Red X in a comic and revealing and having an identity plot? Like you just not everything needs to be known all the time. Like let's not do that.
Yeah.
So also I'm also pushing my Duke Thomas agenda because Jaime and Duke would get along.
I'm
They would
sorry
be
that
such good
I didn't
friends.
put Duke on any of my teams, but that's not a slight against Duke. I just
No, you sound like DC editorial right now. Like you're fine.
It's okay. They do the same thing with Con.
Oh, well, I have Khan on a Young Justice team, but it's a Young Justice team about, like, the purpose of the Young Justice team is showing it, like, friends grow up, but, like being a friend, like, being childhood friends going into adulthood is a little bit tough.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's more of a club than a team. It's more of a friend group.
Also, the way we never got John Kent on a Teen Titans team interacting with any of the Teen Titans properly is very sick, but let's continue.
I just wanted to add, there was like a little tiny team up in a Supergirl issue. I have the picture pulled up right here. Okay, so at one point there was the following.
Oh wow! When was this?
So
I forgot about this.
This was under, yeah, exactly. This was how it was not in anything. I did not like this because, like, what are these age differences?
So give a rundown for the people on the podcast.
Ira's like 5. What is she doing there?
So there's Ira here as Impulse. There's Damien, but this is like young Damien. This is like pre-character development Damien.
Well, how was
Irie,
Impulse, and Static around at the same time?
Pre-Crisis.
No,
I'm sorry. Pre-New 52.
It would have to be pre-New 52.
Yeah, pre-New 52, because if you remember, Wally already had kids at that point. But
in the Impulse costume?
Yeah, she had the Impulse costume for some time. Her being in the Impulse costume right now is not a new thing.
Oh.
Now she has a name.
They just changed. They updated the suit.
Okay.
Yeah, she has a name now.
She has a cuter
Thunderheart, which is stupid. But
okay, we all agreed on that one.
Also,
she looks cute. I like her outfit.
Yeah.
I thought her outfit ate, and I liked her little hairstyle. But she's like a little child. I'm gonna let the name slide. She's a little kid.
Yeah.
You know?
No, but here's why I can't let it slide. Because they had the two characters that would be such haters about the name react like, cool. Wallace and Bart would be in the family group chat like, that shit is ass.
Oh, they'd privately do it. They would privately do it, and then Wallace would be there like,
horribly. Nice, they wouldn't make fun of a little girl.
Like,
come on.
No, they wouldn't. But Wallace would be like,
they wouldn't tell her. They wouldn't. You guys are so.
Well, it would be a panel.
It's like it was your cousin or something.
They look out and then they smile and they're like, "Cool." Like
it would be like them looking into the camera like they're on The Office, and then they would just shut the fuck up because, like, just let her do her thing.
Yeah,
she'll grow out of it. Like, it's a little kid. She'll grow out of it. Regardless of the name, the suit eats. You can't say the suit does not eat.
The new one?
Yeah, with the red one with the yellow lightning bolt going across. I was a fan. I thought it was cute.
Seen her new suit.
It's a really cute one. I really liked it.
I was a fan, but I haven't paid much attention to it. Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah, okay.
I liked her suit. I honestly cared more about outfit design than I care about name choice. Because there are some dumb names out there. It's okay. Just ignore it. Just go with it. It's fine. But the suit, that's what I'm looking at when I see the artwork. I really like her suit. You should Google it. It's very cute.
Yeah, her brother's suit.
But okay, so the rest of this lineup, there's Supergirl, there's Stephanie as Batgirl, Miss Martian, Static, Ira as Impulse, and then Damien Robin, who's very young, as well as Jaime. I thought this run it made no sense. Like, everyone's age together was just weird.
Right.
Like, I know if I was one of the older kids on that team, I'd be like, why the hell am I here with a 10year-old?
You know what?
Regardless of he's Damien, I would be like,
party. This is giving
let's put all the kids together. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. And they don't work together. They were just like,
Stephanie are like, Stephanie's like, what, 19? And
they're just like 17. Okay. Yeah.
By the way, at this time, Stephanie's had a child. She's given birth.
Yeah, like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And she's hanging
at this
around
time,
with
Ira is old enough to be hanging out with Stephanie's daughter. Or was it his daughter or son?
I don't know. But they never went back to it.
I don't think it was revealed. Yeah. Or maybe it was a daughter. But I don't think it was a daughter. We never heard. We never hear from them again. I know.
Yeah, either way, that baby was given up
like years down the line and be like, she's back and she wants revenge. Something stupid, like whatever.
Do not give them ideas. Do not give them ideas.
It's giving. Wait, did you guys hear? Shush.
Oh, I heard about Shush.
Shush.
They're making a female version of Hush. Her name is Shush.
To go to high school with Damien, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
What's her name?
I saw that and I was like, oh, I thought they were
Tamisha
joking.
Elliott?
I saw the tweet and I thought that was like a joke. I was like, oh, how funny, haha, hee hee, like whatever. And then people were like, oh wait, they're serious in the replies on Twitter, and I was like, they can't be serious, but they very much were. Shush.
I mean, I think it sounds really bad right now, but I think there's a way to pull it off. Just depends.
We don't need a Joker's daughter of every DC.
Right. But that being said,
I didn't understand their motivation for it.
Like, I liked Flatline, and I know that Flatline's not the daughter of Lord Deathman, but like, I like Flatline. Do you know Flatline?
She's
cute.
okay. She's okay.
I liked her design.
By the way,
the design was cute.
Yeah.
She's here to stay, kind of, unfortunately, because she like made too much of a splash, and his run was too well received for her to not.
I also
around,
I like shipping them, so I'm sorry.
They're
so cute. They're cute.
I typically don't ship kids. I'm like, I don't care.
I'm just like, okay. I just read it and I like turn the page.
It's young love. It's like Tim and Steph. I was into.
But
they were older.
Okay, well, not
Tim and Steph were like high schoolers, though. Like
not in Tim's initial run, because he was still like 13 and she was like 14, 15.
I think she's 1 year older than him at most.
I think she's but they were a little bit older. I feel like than Damien, right? Like I'm trying to think when they were dating.
14 right now.
Yeah, Damien's going into high school.
Yeah, okay. Meanwhile, Tim is still 17. So like
that doesn't make any sense. I don't buy that. Tim is.
They just never updated his birth certificate or something.
Tim gets to 18 and like, okay, we're -2.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Do not pass go. Like
I don't.
How is he older than Duke and now Duke is his age? Like that.
Yeah. By the way, the Titans lineup for when Jaime joined the Titans back in the pre 52 was Supergirl, Miss Martian, Wonder Girl, Tim Drake, Red Devil, Ravager, and then Jaime. So like a lot of those people in that picture that in that Supergirl issue are from here, right? Supergirl, Miss Martian, Jaime. You know? But where does Iris
were
West
featured.
come from? Like, okay.
They were there.
Because they needed a Flash and Wallace didn't exist yet, and
they were like, let's put a literal child, like a literal baby.
The youngest, yeah.
It's kind of giving Child Soldier in a bad way. Yeah.
I mean, I like Batman, so I can't say it. Sometimes Dick Grayson is 9. Like, shut it up.
The real question is, when in continuity, how old was Dick Grayson when he started being Robin? I like using that
like 8,
for this.
8 or 9.
Is that current continuity though? Because
legit, it's undecided because he's anywhere from 8 to 14.
Yeah,
it's a little weird because they insist on like Tim being there at like his parents dying, but like age-wise that makes no sense because if he started at the age of 8 and then Nightwing, let's assume 17, that's 9 years, and then if Tim is 3 even, let's say, to have like some sort of recollection of this, 3 plus 9, right?
Let's not forget that when Dick becomes Nightwing in the New Teen Titans, he's about 19. So I think he's a sophomore. If I remember correctly, he's a sophomore in college. He drops out of college, and Bruce is like being his dad. So he's like, you can't not be in college. You can't not be having a job. You can't not be doing any of this stuff. So I'm mad at you right now. He's like 18, 19. Yeah.
It just. But then there's like you need time to factor in like Jason's like 2.5 years. And then Tim coming in with like a little break in between Jason and Tim. So like the age thing is kind of off.
I think Dick nowadays with all the reboots and everything, I think Dick is older when he becomes like Robin year 1. He's not 8 in Robin year 1. He is not
12.
He is not 8 in when he first like joins the Titans, which has to be like a year or 2 after. Like he's not that young. He's young, but he's not that young. And it just doesn't make sense to me that Batman would throw an 8-year-old out in like out
It's
there, you know?
comic books, so
I know,
it
but
just
still.
can't make sense. What, Dimitri, you gotta watch my videos because I have a video talking about you cannot apply certain real world logic.
I've blocked you. That's why you haven't seen my TikToks.
Wow, I'm finding out on Twitch right now. That's crazy.
So, what I do want to bring up, Jaime, because kind of like Miles, they have been pushing Jaime for a while and trying to finally like get him out there, get him out there for the kids, get him out there for the old heads, you know, and push him out in different ways. So he has made multiple appearances in media.
Yes.
So, what are your guys' experience with Jaime in like the cartoons and stuff?
Justice League Action peak. Justice League Action peak full season is available on Amazon. I think you have to buy it, which is tragic. It's like $10. I never buy anything. I just watch like Amazon Prime. It's like already free. I bought JLA.
Justice League Action is free for somewhere.
I wanted to buy it on Amazon. I actually bought it for my friend so that she could watch it as well. It's that serious.
It's on great. It's on Max.
Jaime in it.
It's on Max.
It's on Max?
Oh, wait,
what?
No way. JLA? Action? There's no way. I have Max.
Yeah.
Wait, no way, because it was not on anything for the longest time.
Yeah, it was only on Amazon for ages, which is why I bought it, because I was like, I want to stream this.
As far as I can see, yeah, and I remember watching it recently, a couple episodes. They're on.
It's such a good show.
They're on something that I have, and I believe they're on Max.
Okay, well, I will go back and rewatch that. Anyways, Justice League Action, loved Jaime on it. I loved his design on it specifically. They actually drew him what I would consider like more bug-like.
Yeah.
His pincers look really beetle-y, which is another thing I really like about his design. I used to study bugs, so I really like that he looks very bug-like.
So he was really tailored to you. Like
he was perfect for me. Like everything about him, I'm just like, oh my god, beetle, bug, like perfect. So JLA, he is more bug-like in how he's drawn, which I really liked. He's also really cute as his character design, adorable. Booster is also in the show. Love that. He's also in Batman Brave and the Bold, which we've been new, also peak. I know he's in Young Justice for another animated appearance, but I haven't seen the show, so I can't really speak on that.
It's so good.
Season 2 is going to be your season, because that's the season where he's like the central character.
Well, because there's a big Reach plot throughout season 2. It's a big Reach plot.
I was like, right. He's got lore? Because all I knew was
the
comic lore. Yeah,
they invent new lore, right? Ben, for
I don't know
the green.
I can't confirm. I haven't seen it.
Green Beetle. I think Green Beetle. That was the first time we saw other Beetle colors.
Okay, so I don't know if that happened in Young Justice, but that's currently happening right now. That was what happened in Graduation Day, which was why I loved Graduation Day. I highly recommend it as like a direct follow-up to his initial Beetle run with Giffen back in 2006. I feel like it's one of the first runs to like really expand on Jaime's lore, his history, his personality, and like actually develop and grow him as a character. I felt like it really did really good in that, and it was obviously Jaime focused and Jaime centered. Graduation Day, peak. Highly recommend. New Beetles, I love their designs as well. If people haven't read them here, so Jaime's scarab implants in his back or under his spine, and it like grows. It kind of looks like a backpack almost, like he's holding it on like a little cute little backpack. Beetles in Graduation Day, their scarabs are in different parts of their bodies. So there's this really cool one where her scarab is on her stomach. So at first when I saw her design, because it was like online, I was like shown online before, I thought she was pregnant. And because it's like the beetle releases like a shell. I thought she was pregnant, and
Dynastis.
Dynastis, yes. I thought she was pregnant, and I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. Like, let me see how this works. But no, her scarab is just very large and on her stomach.
That's the name of a beetle. I didn't know that.
Yes, they're all the new Beetles. They're different colors, so it's like Pokemon. No, Power Rangers vibes of like, oh, we have different color Beetles. God,
no.
But they're based off of actual Beetles in real life, like actual bugs.
I mean,
they have different bug designs.
Big bad beetle.
Watch Young Justice. Watch Young Justice, because I think Dimitri's right, that they introduced Green and Black Beetle, which
they have different colored beetles in Young Justice.
Yeah.
So Black Beetle does exist in the comics.
Oh.
First origins, yes. I have. Oh, I brought my little collection.
Come on.
Let me pull up. Okay, so in the Booster Gold series, let me see if I can like flip through this super quickly.
Wait, what year was that?
So this is Booster Gold Volume 2. This is Booster
Like
Gold Volume 4.
Maybe?
But this is so this was with Dan Jurgens and Geoff Johns.
Jeff Johns.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce things. This was, I think, 2008 or 2007.
Yeah.
It's booster focused, of course, since it's Booster's series. But actually, Black Beetle would be under Volume 2 with Ted. Okay, well, we'll see if I can find him by flipping through this. But he does exist in the comics. Here we go. This is Black Beetle.
Okay.
That's Jaime and Booster and Dan and Ted. This has everyone. So we have all 3 Blue Beetles here featured on the page along with Booster and Black Beetle. Yeah. It might be a different version of him because they never really expand on like in Booster Gold. Like they might like briefly touch on it of like, oh, who is he, his origin and stuff like this. There's like fan theories that I like on who Black Beetle actually is, but I won't get into that now. But they might have just made it like similar designs, similar vibes, or maybe they just had the same idea of like, oh, well, we have Blue Beetle. What about other colors? Like, you know.
I'm not gonna spoil anything because I want you to watch it. See,
okay.
the first. Listen, I think Young Justice is a really good like show, but I think those first 2 seasons were like lighting it above. Like there's something special about it. Something special about it.
Ben, how would you pitch the show to someone, let's just say, who likes Young Justice the comic and is disappointed that Young Justice the animated series is not, that there's that disconnect?
Essentially, Young Justice the show, though using the names from the comic, is a celebration of the young heroes of DC in their totality. So it takes aspects of multiple Teen Titans and Young Justice runs and amalgams them in making a really expansive storyline that goes across the DC universe and also does have some focus on some of the adult heroes later seasons.
It's really expansive. Like they have the full toy box in Young Justice. They got the New Gods. They got Tracy 13. They got like,
Milestone.
They do have Milestone characters. I forgot.
Icon, Hardware, and Static. Yep.
And
Rocket, Icon, Hardware, and Static. Yep.
Oh, Hardware too. That's right.
Yep.
Like
he doesn't say or do much, but he's there.
Yeah, I mean they got the Shazam. They got the Shazam family.
I do like that it sounds like actually like a fully incorporated universe.
It is.
As opposed to like just like, oh, we're just, you know, spotlight on this city or something.
Funnily enough, the only show that comes close to it in its references to DC lore in general are, this is crazy to say, but it is literally Teen Titans Go and Harley Quinn. Those are the only shows that are second best to it in terms of like expansive lore and all the characters. Young Justice is probably best because it is like not goofy, but like it's so good.
The audience is a lot younger than us. You know, we can't be a hater. That's just not content for us.
Yeah, but I'm not being a hater because I actually think Teen Titans Go is freaking hilarious. But
they confirmed Booster Gold and Blue Beetle forever, so like that forever #1 show for me.
They got me. They got my heart with that. I saw that on Twitter. I was like, they got it. But yeah,
I was like, when you know, you know,
Justice,
like period.
Season 2 Young Justice.
Hold it in front of you.
This man.
Hold it in front of you and move yourself forward.
He's the main character of the season. And then he has, unfortunately, Young Justice does this thing where it's like, okay, each season different characters get focused.
Different characters, okay.
Yeah, so season 2 is him. Season 3 and 4, he pops up. He has major roles
he's just,
in
like,
certain arcs.
there.
But he's the background character.
Well, they create multiple teams at that point. Like in Young Justice, over the seasons, like people age up. And because they age up, some of them move up to the Justice League. So like for example, season 1, Zatanna is the same age as the other kids. She's a kid Zatanna, a teen Zatanna. But and then her dad is on the league. But then like they merge.
Zatara dies or something, and then Zatanna takes over.
We won't say. That's a really big spoiler. That's a really big spoiler.
That's her entire comic origin. But like, all right.
It's
more
not
than that.
like her comic.
Again,
it's very.
They create new lore for Young Justice, and they amalgamize a lot of stuff. So, like, there's whole things. Anyway, so then like Robin becomes Nightwing, and then they get a new Robin, but then like they're hinting at Jason Todd in between seasons, but who knows? I don't know if it's real or not. People argue.
Well, you're spoiling too much.
I'm not. It's just
anonymity.
Okay, so but then they got the full Bat family. They got the full Bat. Well, no Duke, right?
Not yet.
But like they play with
that would be the show to debut.
You're like, I'm manifesting.
Like as Signal. Yeah, that would be their. If there's any show that would debut Duke Thomas as Signal in the yellow armor, it would be Young Justice.
Yeah,
it would be that show.
Yeah. So
is it still ongoing?
It has not been canceled or renewed, so it's in it's in limbo.
In the air.
But
in
they
the air.
do that a lot. Like they put like ends up being like a lot of years that pass between seasons.
Yeah, because they have to animate it and all that stuff. Yeah.
But they don't announce a new season until they're like ready. And like between seasons 2 and 3, it was 7 years.
Oh wow. Okay,
yeah, it got properly canceled that time. It has it's a really Young Justice the show.
Okay,
the lore within the show is crazy. The lore outside of the show, surrounding the show, is even crazier because hiatus and Young Justice are synonymous.
Well, Ben, you heard about why they originally canceled it or whatever?
I have a whole video on it, honey.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I don't follow you anymore because
we're sticking with that joke. Wow. Okay.
So, what does a good Jaime interpretation like? What does that mean? When you take them to like these like live action lengths or on these animated series, like what's a good Jaime?
So I know one of the contentions that people had, both for Graduation Day, the comic, as well as for the live action, is his move from El Paso to Palmera City. I know for a lot of people, especially for a lot of the Jaime fans I know, they're actually like people who were like at some point in their lives lived in El Paso. So, they have that personal connection to Jaime through, their mutual living in the same city, as well as like Mexican-American heritage with Jaime. And it was a contentious decision a little bit for some fans as he moved both in the comics as well as in, this upcoming live action, for his movement to Palmera City. I don't necessarily think Jaime needs to remain like a small town hero in El Paso. I do think as he, gets older, he's going to just like grow as a character and, he might want to move out, explore the world, as people do. So I don't necessarily think city like determines his character. Obviously personality, a big part of him. I think also, echoing back to what I said earlier, it would be part of like his Latino heritage would just be like his connections to his family, and like, his Spanish speaking community and things like this. I definitely think Jaime could possibly have adventures in like space, for example, in the future, maybe going out to like things with the Reach and stuff like this, which, I mean, I don't know if there'd be other space Latinos with him. But it's more of like,
it's a big thing right now.
Jessica Cruz.
Yeah. Space Latinos.
Hot girl.
They just passed Graduation Day.
She does. I was so happy.
So that could be like a little, like a space Latino, voyage.
It's really hot right now. Space Latinos are really hot right now. They're selling.
It could be them and like Starfire, just like the team up. They're just going to space.
The space Latinos and
Simone Biles as well, just like come inside. So, bring him back. So yeah, I feel like the main thing for Jaime is just like his personality as a character, his heart. And I mean, that sounds cheesy as hell. And like his family, as opposed to any specific setting that he's in. I know now with like in continuity, both in comics as well as whatever they're going to plan to do for the live action, how he gets the scarab is kind of going to be up in the air. I know now, especially like with the comics, they've recently slightly changed. Obviously, Ted is alive. So that's new. Right? Like that's a distinction from like his original run. Now it's like, oh, he can have a former Blue Beetle to talk to, even though, Kajija doesn't work for Ted, which was revealed under Booster Gold. Because of Booster Gold, Kajija did not work for Ted, but we're not getting into that. Oh. Booster just keeps time traveling to see Ted, and Kajija can't work with like time travel science.
Okay.
If that's what we're going to call it. That was their explanation for why it worked with Dan and not Ted.
That is honestly...
that was the note. Yeah.
I remember that being the explanation. I was just like, you can just say it just didn't work for him. Like it was his greatest
But
failure.
it
I
didn't
was like,
fully work for Dan,
I don't think
right?
it. So Dan didn't think it was alien technology. He thought it was like magic, and it just kind of had different powers every time, which was interesting from a narrative perspective, but also, you know, probably easier for the writers to just be like, oh, okay, and this week, you know, Kaji does this, you know. Um, but you know, like I said, so since Ted is alive now in the comics, and then now we have the introduction of, you know, Victoria Cord, Ted's sister, who did not exist at all prior to graduation day.
Mm.
As well as Cord Industries now still being like a thing, period. Because Ted also wasn't affiliated with Cord after his run, and then through JLI, JLA, and then he like comes back to it briefly before his death, and then now he's partially running the company, presumably under R&D, and Victoria is like running the actual company. Um, Going back to Jaime, I think the main thing that's interesting is just to see perhaps with like a new mentor relationship going forward in the comics, like Blue Beetle to Blue Beetle, you know, what are the differences they're doing, especially since they have completely different technologies. Like Ted just almost Batman himself because he just made everything, all of his tech and stuff like that. But yeah, I think Jaime, the main thing I would say, me, because I'm a sucker for character design, gotta have that suit. The suit gotta look good. The suit gotta look good. I'm sorry, the suit gotta look good. That is number one. His design eats. I don't know if it was ever seen or if it was ever discussed anywhere that he has like a luchador-esque face mask to like cover his face. I know people will argue whether or not they want to see like his mouth to like show his teeth or not, or if it's just kind of like a flat line, kind of similar to like Iron Man 1 MCU mask, or just like a line.
Yeah.
I personally don't care. I just need the suit to look cool. For me, the more buggy, the better. I do like it looking less human-y. I do like it looking alien-y and bug-like. I think it adds to him, you know, ties to his family that he cares about deeply, and then overall just like keep his personality. That's about it. I don't really care where they place him. We can do Space Latinos. We can do Palmera City. You know,
Give him
we'll
an
see.
internship in Gotham.
So so not currently in the comics, but in the movie, he went to Gotham University, from what I saw in an interview.
Oh.
He's pre-law. He graduated law, a pre-law degree.
A little bit, right?
They aged him up, yeah. So instead of graduation day, where he finished high school graduation, and now he currently in graduation day, his parents were like, "Well, you need to get a job because you're not going to college, so you need to get a job." Yeah. I mean, understandable. You know, I'm not a hater. It's so like Latino parents to be like, "What? You can't just sit around and go do something."
Oh,
you
the
know?
end of graduation day number 1, like when?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, they were like, "Hey, your aunt's got you a job. Go."
Yeah.
Like, go meet up with them.
The one thing when you said Gotham University, I was like, because I'm like, I love Batman. He does not need to be like somehow his lore does not need to be personally tied to everything.
Yeah.
Does not.
There's this tweet I have that people, it was like a meme. They were like, "Why in DC Comics all of a sudden Bruce Wayne the bus driver?" Like you'll be reading a comic, and then all of a sudden Bruce Wayne the bus driver, like, why the hell is he here? There are sometimes when Batman or Bruce will just show up, or any of the Bat family will show up in the most random, unexpected way. I can understand if like the issue is set in Gotham. Okay, you know, fine. They live there. You know, I'm not a hater. They live there. But like there'll be like a random Green Lantern comic where they're like fully in space, light years from Earth, and Batman is there. Go, what? Like,
no, that
like, I have to pause. I'm like, where did he come
legit? From? No, graduation day, it makes sense because the whole plot is the hero community. So of course Batman will be there because he's personally he has some kind of personal relationship with the Justice League Titans, all those characters. So of course, like Wally would be there, Jessica Cruz would be there, Batman, Superman would be there. Wonder Woman not being there was questionable, but you know, there was already a lot of characters getting screen time.
She was booked.
She's been booked.
She was booked. It's okay because we had Jessica Cruz. And they're setting up the Space Latino adventure.
We had my queen. Yes, I need a Space Latino adventure because I don't know, Jessica Cruz. She's just a bad bitch. Like that's just a bad bitch, right? She's a bad bitch with anxiety, and that's why she's my queen.
She's so relatable.
Yes.
I don't mind them aging up Jaime for the movie, as long as they don't give him that goatee that he has in Graduation Day. I'm not.
You didn't like it?
It looks like
I thought
Robbie.
it was kind
It
of
looks like
cute.
Robbie Reyes. He looks like Marvel's Robbie Reyes.
I think
Robbie
it was like,
doesn't have
okay, so,
the silky like cut that.
No, Robbie has the streak,
the
right?
slicked back with the streak. Yeah,
Yeah, but he also has
got
that goatee.
luscious locks.
So obviously, you know, I've never grown any sort of facial hair like that. But I've seen like, you know, it's kind of like how when you guys were in when we were like in high school or like in college, you know, like boys will try to like different kind of like facial hairstyles. And like, you know, sometimes they go through some cringy ones. You guys can know, you remember either yourself or someone you knew.
Listen, that's
and
why
they're just like trying out different styles. I thought it was very cute. It was like a little like, you know, he's experimenting with his self-image.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not too hard on it, because I remember the first time I shaved my mustache, and like I was like, I'm just gonna shave because it was like really sheer and light.
Yeah.
When it grew back, it was not. So I'm gonna give it to Jaime because I know he probably shaved it one time and then it grew back and it was like way hard, like way stronger, way darker. He was like, "What is going on?"
Or he just went through puberty. You know, he's just growing up.
Yeah.
Like, how much time does he have to look up looks? You know, like my man is going through it. He has bare minimum time. He's just like, okay, this is fine. Out the door. Like, he's experimenting with his self-image.
Sure Kaji
I'm not a hater.
Cut it for him.
Probably. But here's the thing.
Why couldn't it, like, the suit like shave
But what would Kaji know about human fashion?
Just don't cut the skin. Shave
right,
it,
but
you know,
like just clean completely.
Wait, can Kaji Da connect to the internet?
Probably.
Yes.
Okay.
If Jaime thought I need to make a USB cord, Kaji would probably like, okay. But here's the thing. I kept on reading Kaji Da. I've been watching Living Single, so I just kept on reading it as Khadijah, like Queen Latifah's character from Living Single. I kept on reading Khadijah, and then I had to flip the last two syllables. Kaji Da. That was really killing me. I was like, oh shit. I didn't even know it had a name before I read Graduation. I was just like, the Scarab.
Fair. It wasn't named at all during Ted's run. Kaji Da comes from Dan Garrett's run. Like back in the day. But because it just never worked with Ted, like he never even had Kaji. Like it was just there, and then he lost it, and he was like, oh well. Like, you know,
it is what it is.
It was like losing. Like, for him, it was more so of like a reminder of like Dan and like, you know, his mentor, rather than like this all powerful. Like he had no fucking idea. It was just like, okay.
Didn't it end up in the Rock of Eternity? And then when the Rock of Eternity blew up,
and then when the Rock of Eternity was destroyed, fell to Earth, fell to El Paso. Jaime grabs it. Infinite Crisis #3 on the way home from school.
It's like, what's this cool rock? Ah!
Yeah, no, she just takes it home, and then in the night, it just like he's like fully passed out, like, you know, the good sleep you get after like a long day of school. He like it just like goes inside under his covers and is like, ooh, what a little nice host for me. Buries under his skin. I
thought of like, what if
Ben 10 core?
What if it landed in the wrong spot? You know what I mean? Like what if the wrong person? It's kind of like Kyle Rayner in The Ring, but like, what if the wrong person had taken the Scarab?
But again, the Scarab doesn't necessarily activate for everyone.
Okay.
The Scarab does a vibe check. It's just like vibe.
Yeah.
Vibe.
It was okay with all three Beatles, but presumably with other people, it would not be.
Okay.
Like Ted is trying to go like, hey, open up, and it's just like your vibe a little off. Man. I don't know about.
No, it was like you have too much booster on you. We're gonna stay away.
I feel like that was DC's reasoning, but Kaji's reasoning was like, I don't know about the ethics of being a billionaire. Like, I'm not sure about it. And Ted's just like,
the gag is during Ted's run, he was like, okay, fuck this, I'm out. I hate this industry.
We love Ted. We love Ted.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because like in Graduation Day now he like works in R&D, which is fair because that would be something in line with his character. He like never gave a fuck about running court industries. He was actually like so bad at it. His own secretary was like, girl, where the fuck are you? Because he would just like miss work to go be Blue Beetle. And then his dad came over and was like, I'm actually taking back control of the company. And Ted was like, who needs this place anyways? And left.
Ted was like, well, Batman can just dip out. It's like, yeah, but Batman has these shocks there, you know.
Court also like presumably in universe just like doesn't make as much. I think it's more like a tech-based company, whereas Wayne does like fucking everything.
Military
so
contracts.
Wayne just has more money.
He does not do military contracts.
He doesn't?
No.
Okay. All right.
He does stuff. I mean, the military contract would be under Batman Inc. maybe.
Okay.
Bruce makes like more healthcare stuff. That's typically
Wayne Industries as a whole is just healthcare?
No, Wayne does a lot of stuff.
He does a lot.
He has like his hands everywhere in like every industry, which is why she has so much fucking money.
Yeah.
And what they kind of like hand wave away all the Batman tech.
Yeah, his main stuff is like healthcare advancements and stuff like that because of his dad.
Oh, okay.
That's what there's certain continuity storylines where it's like he did not have control and they were doing that stuff and you know how like Iron Man 1 he's like no, like that's essentially what he did, but he was just like I want to honor my dad and my mom's work in the charities of Gotham beforehand, which of course he would have more money than Ted Kord because the Wayne thing way long. That's old money. That's old money. First popped up. Yeah.
As we close up this episode, I want to thank you both so much for coming on the show. This is our first time we're doing the Keeg Talks comics. Obviously, we got Thursday Comic Talk, but that's a whole different thing. That's weekly comics. But this is more of a character profile kind of analysis of these characters. I want to thank both of you so much for coming on this show and talking with me about everything. Before I get to outros, what are some quick recommendations for any Blue Beetle fans or wannabe fans? You know, people who want to start up.
That's all her.
Oh, okay. Yep. Hi. 1 second. Let me just. Okay, so you can find it on my Instagram if you would like to see it and read a lot more about it in detail. But I will just start naming issues. So the first, I have a few of them that I own with me. So Jaime's first appearance is in 2005 in Infinite Crisis #3. You don't have to pick that up. You don't even have to read Infinite Crisis. Really, all you have to know is that Ted dies and the Scarab is lost to Earth and lands in El Paso. Jaime picks it up on his way home from school, becomes the Blue Beetle. They do a whole recap of this in his original series, which is the first one I'd recommend. This is just book 1, but you get the point. It's Blue Beetle Jaime Reyes. This is the cover. It is 06. It is written by Keith Giffen, who also was during JLI run, during Ted's run. So was the creator of Blue Beetle, along with John Rogers and Cully Hemner, who made his design. So highly recommend first run, obviously. Got to go through with it.
All right. That was Cully Hemner who designed it?
Design, and he co-created the character.
He's also the
co-creator. The next series I would recommend. So these are a few issues that happened during the Booster Gold run. So I'm just going to name them. That's issue 5, 6, and issue 0, as well as issue 21 through 29. All of these do feature Jaime. So I have, you can obviously find the individual issues online for, like, for example, DC Infinite, or like, I don't know if old stores sell issues. These would be in Booster Gold Volume 2, Blue and Gold, as well as Booster Gold Volume 4, Day of Death. As I mentioned earlier, for my favorite team up with Jaime, that would be under Brightest Day, Justice League Generation Lost. Okay, he's not featured on this cover, but he's in this. His first appearance, I think, is in the 3rd comic for this one. I recently reread it. I think it was like this week. Highly recommend. One of my favorite runs of all time under DC. Highly slept on. And then, of course, starting in 2022, there's Blue Beetle Graduation Day. This is the first issue. I don't have the trade yet. It's pre-ordered. It's coming in. Don't have it yet. This is a variant cover. He looks really cute. He's like smiling on here. This is Blue Beetle #1, Graduation Day.
Is that signed?
Yes. I met Josh Trujillo at WonderCon when I was cosplaying as Blue Beetle, and he signed for me. Great. So this is the cover. Graduation Day, I feel like it is a very sensical sequel to the original Blue Beetle run. Jaime is also featured under Blue Beetle New 52, as well as Blue Beetle Rebirth, if you wanted to read those. Some people might want to read those. So Graduation Day was a limited 6-issue miniseries, but the sequel is coming starting on September 5th. Pre-order now. It is called Scarab War. I really liked it because it introduced new beetles. Like I mentioned earlier, it's like Power Ranger-esque, different color beetles. Expands on Jaime's lore, moves him to Palmera City. You really feel like he's actually kind of coming into his own as a superhero. He's like, I'm an adult now. I graduated from high school. I'm moving cities. I got a job. More responsibilities, and then he's kind of being brought into the universe with like other heroes and stuff like this. Those are my recommended Jaime reads.
Awesome. I would also recommend Young Justice season 2. It was a big recommendation for Jaime Reyes. I mean, other animated appearances too. Like, you can pick and choose. Batman Brave and the Bold, Justice League Action, Young Justice. I don't know what else, but there's a lot of good Jaime stuff out there. And so I'm looking forward to the developments across many mediums of Jaime and his character. And I wanted to catch on, and I want him to do good. So I'm very excited about what's to come, Thank you, both of you, so much for coming on this episode, lending your expertise, your thoughts, your opinions, your voices. Before we get going, where can people find you? What do you got coming up? Anything you want to plug? Ben, I'll let you go first. You've been on the show enough. Come on.
Yeah, hey guys. You might recognize me. Yeah, BT Artist 98 everywhere. What I have coming up, I don't know, child. I was planning on making some videos today. But make sure, if you don't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram, BTArtist98 everywhere, and of course TikTok. I will be on TikTok, same crazy stuff. I just posted a video bashing Jason Todd because I have to do what I need to do. I have to do what I need to do to keep myself sane, because Jason Todd stands have gotten too bold. So he's getting his lashings, his well-deserved lashings from me. Yeah, and so what? Yeah, I'm a big Thomas stand. Yeah. I don't have much, so you can't take anything from me anyway. So. But yeah, I just be on here talking. I've been trying to restructure my content. I made a skit about Jean Grey dying a bunch, so you should go watch that. Also because it's over a minute, so I get money off of it if it hits over views. So please go watch it. I worked really hard on it. It was like a late night. It was like shower thought. I was like, oh, video. But yeah, that's what I'm up to. I'm just posting and talking, and I'm probably gonna go live either later today or tomorrow, maybe.
I mean, this episode won't be out until tomorrow, but okay, cool. Michelle, where can we find you? What do you got coming up? Anything you want to plug?
Sure. Okay. Hi. I'm Michelle. You already knew that. So I only have a cosplay Instagram. It's at Bravo Cosplay. Bravo, like the word Bravo. That's how you spell it. I already have a Jaime cosplay. I repainted it recently. So it's a new, more metallic-y chrome color. I'm very excited because tomorrow I'm getting Blue Beetle nails done in anticipation for his movie. I have Star Sapphire nails right now. I love comic nails. You can find them on my Instagram. I have a Star Sapphire costume coming up, as well as a giant character analysis, multiple posts for her. I'm working on a Ted Cord reading list as well, as a JLI reading list. I already have my Jaime reading list up online if you wanted to check it out to find more Jaime comics to look at. Me coming up in the future, I might update my Jaime cosplay, but that's on the back burner for now while I am currently undergoing a move.
And in the future, you might see her on TikTok. Listen. That when Dimithri disappeared into the nether for a good 30 minutes, we had a great conversation. So I'm just like, hey, right person.
We'll see.
App for you.
Maybe in the future I will be on the TikTok beyond just like an account that likes posts.
No, we need a Blue Beetle TikTok. We're missing it.
We are missing. There's a vacuum. So I mean,
not a vacuum.
there is a vacuum. I mean, I think that like when the movie does come out, and I'm sure you can do content on it. Like you could make like 50 videos off the one movie, just breaking down everything. Like, you would be the most qualified to do it. I'm just throwing it out there, you know? There's ideas.
Listen, like I said, we have our mutual friend Avery, who we love so much. Avery is bae. I talk to Avery like every day. They are strictly Flash. They don't really talk about other characters unless it's related to the Flash. They do well. Their videos are great, and they just tell you information that is just straight up. Like, they do really well. So all I'm saying is, like, if we can have a Flash museum, we can have the Blue Beetle Brigade or something. I don't know.
The Blue Beetle Brigade.
Yeah, we'll workshop.
Bravo.
Workshop.
Beetle Battalion.
Bravo Beetle. Bam. There we go. Bravo Beetle. Boom. That's the username. I got it. And free of charge too.
Trademark.
So
trademark license.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Thank you to anybody out there who is watching and or listening. If you're watching us live, twitch.tv/The Keeg Show or youtube.com/The Keeg Show. Or maybe you're listening to the podcast wherever you get your podcast from. Apple Podcasts, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and maybe still Stitcher. I'm not quite sure. If you're on social media, TikTok and Instagram are our biggest social media platforms at The Keeg Show. You could keep up to date with everything that we post there, as well as, you know, staying tuned for more shows that we do. Right now we do 2 shows. We do Comic Talk every Thursday. We talk about that week's new comic releases. And then right now we're doing the Keeg Talks, but the Keeg Talks comics. So today was Jaime Reyes' Blue Beetle. I'm sure we're going to have an X-Men episode at some point. I'm sure we'll have a Nightwing episode, maybe a Poison Ivy episode. You know, we'll mix things up.
You know who to get for Nightwing. You know who to get for Nightwing.
I don't know. I don't know about that. We'll see.
Also, for X-Men, you should get Lion Optimist. I don't know.
It's possible. Yeah, I mean, Lion Optimist is a big X-Men creator, so there's a couple people on my list. So yeah, for sure. If I ever talk about the Flash, I'll invite Avery. You know, that sort of thing. But we're doing comic character profiles and whatnot. So that's what we got in store. Definitely follow us at The Keeg Show / The Keeg Show. Wherever you get your social media, that's where we're at. That's pretty much it. Thank you, Michelle, so much. Thank you, Ben, so much for coming on the show. Once again, I am your host, Dimithri Perera, and this has been the Keeg Talks Comics, Jaime Reyes, Blue Beetle. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.